Okay, this is gonna be the first video on this channel, and the type of content I want to make will vary. So this will be the first analytical video that deeply looks into a work of fiction into a new perspective. Instead of forming a theory as many would, a thesis is made instead that gives a work value that could potentially help us understand in real life or give us a better understanding of the work itself. In this video, I'm going to do the same with Jaehee's route, so let me begin. As I stated in the title, Jaehee's route is underrated, so I'm going to pull off pieces of evidence and why this is the case. If you look at the basic facts of Mystic Messenger, you get to see that Jaehee's route is a bit ironic. It's a dating simulation towards girls, but why make a route that gets you friend-zoned by a woman? Mystic Messenger was designed to help girls, single ladies especially, feel loved. Loneliness is feared in our society, and what other way to solve this permanent problem? Make dating simulations where we can fall in love with fictional guys is a temporary solution some of us take to ease in this. This has to be the obvious intention Chariots had, since their slogan is Sweet Solutions for Female Gamers. In the article, it states that Chariots' goal was to make people happy and a world a better place. They even helped fight depression, children's rights, and suicide through the donations and the profit that they earned from the games that you guys buy and download. They even want us to feel happy with the games that they make, and they're very right about that thing. I myself had become obsessed with Mystic Messenger. You see, just like most people who obsess this game possibly fear their own loneliness, because we are either insecure about ourselves or just want someone to talk to when we think nobody really wants to be in our presence. It was Mystic Messenger that made me happy during the summer of 2017, but it was also an emotional roller coaster as well. This simple yet complex game brought me to the terms of my own loneliness. Being alone is inevitable. The game made it feel like I was talking to people, even though I was completely aware these characters were just AI. The images, the calls, the music, just about every little detail in the game felt like reality. Then, I stopped when I entered into a new relationship. This relationship eased my loneliness. My lover and I had gotten into a temporary breakup. And during this temporary breakup, I completely let loneliness take over me as a whole. That's how bad I felt about myself. Instead of moving on, I wanted to feel love again. Loneliness ate me and caused me to become more clingier than I was. From this, I wanted to learn to embrace being solo. In other words, embrace solitude. I had to turn what I feared into something that I can enjoy. I needed something that would get me to the habit of doing this, but I didn't look up to anyone that I knew who embraced solitude. Most of the people who I knew were busy or just weren't online. If I can't look up to people in reality, why not look up to someone who is fictional? Then there was my answer. Replay Jaehee's route. We learn from our experiences, but also from the lives of others. I needed to follow Jaehee on the road of solitude, and so I did. Jaehee was alone for the majority of her life. In a phone call, she explains why she avoids the idea of dating. She doesn't want to rely on a lover to make her feel happy, but herself. She learns that disconnecting yourself from your own emotions can result in the damage of your own well-being. Her own job and insecurities were the mere obstacles she needed to go through so she can overcome this problem. All this was simply fixed with the encouragement and love from MC and Zen. I needed to wipe out any obstacles that prevented me from embracing solitude and loving myself in my own presence. If you look at Mystic Messenger's poster, Jaehee was in the middle. As some of us would learn, maybe the solution was just in front of us. or maybe even closer, maybe even right now, but we don't notice it until the last minute. Just like Jaehee is in the poster, in the very center, she was the answer to embrace our own solitude. Now, I want to talk about the poster for a minute. Jared is known for slipping in small details into the game that expands the storyline and the universe of Mystic Messenger. What if there is a specific way or a message in this poster that we have to play with the way the characters are arranged? Okay, let's examine the good endings and the lessons these characters overcome. Jaehee is first. She learns to begin finding herself by embracing solitude and removing everything negative in her life. Second is Yosong. He learns to bury his wounds from affecting him in the present to officially begin his new self. Third is Seven. He learns to accept his past and accepts that he no longer needs to hide who he really is. Fourth is Jumin, but he doesn't count. I'll get that later. Fourth and last is Zen. He no longer doubts himself and moves along with his future ahead of him, and he's ready to be in a relationship because he no longer has anything to distract him. But what does all these routes mean? Well, they are steps to help us learn love ourselves before loving someone else. How can you love yourself if you don't know who you are? How can you love yourself if you let the burdens affect you? How can you love yourself if you can't accept the past and your identity as a person? You see, these are lessons I needed to learn to do that. These lessons will prevent me from falling into the path of Jumin. Jumin, throughout his entire route, is obsessed and doesn't really change. He puts Ellie over everything else, including his own well-being, above the company. The same applies to you as MC. If you get the good ending, he puts you in the spotlight and he doesn't change. All of the progress he was trying to do is thrown out of the window. Right away, when he proposes in front of you at the party. He goes against MC's will into a rushed relationship, but this is nothing but a cage. The only time Jumin does change is if you get his normal ending. Please read the blog I've made about this analysis about Jumin throughout in the description down below if you're a little bit confused. Obsession has its destructive consequences, and that is perfectly portrayed in this route. Not only does it destroy you as a person, but also to others. In conclusion, Jaehee's route is the pathway we need to overcome our loneliness and embrace solitude. Okay, I have no outro. I gotta have some rambles, and this is a message to anybody watching. So yeah, I hope you guys have been impacted by this video in any way. You were inspired, you were creeped out a little bit with that ending, you were got a little emotional. I don't know, any type of emotion. I just want to leave some type of impact. Other than that, I'm finally back to making videos. Why? Other than I have a better laptop, I'm overcoming the insecurities I developed about a year ago with my family. Like, a couple of my family members saw the content that I was making. My siblings didn't mind it, but my eldest brother, he called me cringy. It just tore me down when he said that. You know, when your family criticizes something that you make and they call it cringy, it just tears you down on a whole new level. So I'm letting go of that insecurity, getting back into things that I love again, because during that second relationship, I lost myself completely, and I'm glad I'm making some progress to actually being alone. In fact, it's more like solitude because it doesn't bother me. I have fun being by myself. Loneliness does bother me a little bit, but I know I'll conquer it. But yeah, Jaehee's route ends tomorrow. I'm gonna be sad because she helped me. I don't care if she's fictional. She helped me, God's sake, when no one else was there. But yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and have a good day. Oh yeah. By the way, I wasn't trying to hold in tears when I was explaining the temporary breakup. I just concentrated so hard reading the script, I forgot how heavy I was breathing. My nose is not clogged up, but sometimes I just forget to breathe out there. I just forgot to breathe. I didn't get emotional. So, I'm completely fine except for the part that Jakey's ride is ending tomorrow. Anyways, have a good day officially.